Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome in to Duval Daily presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLuga. Thank you so much for being here. Thursday, April 24th. Yes, it is draft day. Finally draft day. First round of the 2025 NFL draft is tonight, and the Jaguars seem to be in a draft that looks incredibly unpredictable throughout the first round. Maybe the most unpredictable team of them all at the top of the draft, right? Because there's folks saying, oh, could it be Tet McMillan? Pretty much everywhere you look, you're seeing Ashton Jeanty to the Jaguars. For the longest time, it was Mason Graham to the Jaguars. You've heard Jalen Walker connected to the Jags. You've heard the Jaguars are trying to trade down. The Jaguars are trying to trade up. You have no idea what's going on. But one of the things we haven't looked at in depth yet is potentially trading up from the 5th overall pick. Should the Jaguars trade up? We're going to talk about that here this morning on draft day. Have a couple of reminders for y'all. We do have a draft day sale going on over at GenJag.com. With code Duval, 3 U's, you save 40% on everything. So come celebrate with us. GenJag.com/shop, code Duval, that's 3 U's, and you'll save 40% on everything. We've also got a huge Club Jaguars show tonight at Bottlenose Brewing. It's going to be a huge Jaguars draft party. We're going to be recording live from Bottlenose Brewing in Tinseltown. We're going to have a fourth mic. It's going to be me, UCF Jaguar, Jaguars United, and we're going to have a fourth mic for fans to come up and be able to sit and chat with us for a little bit. Bottlenose is going to be having specials. They're going to be having a free drink with an entree. Jason's going to be giving away 20 beers to the first, a beer to the first 20 people that show up and say they're with Club Jaguar. So he's going to pick that up on his tab. So it should be a hell of an event. We're going to be recording live for the entire first round. So come out, hang out with us. Bottlenose Brewing, going to be an awesome time. Now, looking at the Jaguars and their potential scenarios for trading up, the two teams you've heard them connected to, obviously not the Titans. The Titans look like they're taking Cam Ward, and would the Titans trade with the Jaguars that high up in the draft? I know we've seen the Titans and the Jags trade before, but it's like bottom of the roster type stuff. You've seen the Jaguars were going to release Christian Kirk. They trade him to the Texans within the division for a late round pick. Yes, you could see things like that within the division. I don't think you're seeing a blockbuster trade between two division rivals like that. So rule the Titans out. Looks like they're taking Cam Ward. The intrigue kind of starts with the Giants and Browns, who have both been reported to be answering phone calls for the 2nd and 3rd overall picks. The Browns are sitting at 2. The Giants are sitting at 3. Both of those teams reportedly potentially open to trading down, at least taking phone calls. I think draft consensus-wise, those two teams are in position to land 2 blue chip talents. I think most people agree that Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are blue chip type talents, or at least in that, like close to that, right? Like really, really tremendous players at their respective positions. Most people would agree. So what most people don't agree on is after that, who are the best prospects? Are there any more blue chip prospects beyond those two, right? I am of the opinion that the Jaguars are in a position to land a blue chip prospect even if they stick at 5. I think Ashton Jeanty and Mason Graham are both blue chip guys. I think Will Campbell at guard, right there. I think Tyler Warren as well, and I know people don't want tight end, but Liam Cohen is going to adapt to the players that he has. I think Tyler Warren would be fantastic. It would surprise me, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, from my vantage point, like those are the guys that are really like rock solid blue chip type prospects at the top of this draft that I think the Jaguars, if they get any of those guys, fans should be really happy. That's my opinion. So to me, the Jaguars aren't in this position at 5 where a lot of people kind of talk about if you're drafting from 5 to 12 this year, it's just an awful position to be in because there's no one worth those picks. I could not disagree more. There's several guys I think are worth the 5th pick. Now, the Jaguars have talked about it. Any opportunity they have to be bold, to take advantage of situations, to get after it, they're going to do that. James Gladstone has said that, and you want to be bold. Bold new city of the South, am I right? But there is a fine line between being bold and desperate, and you want to be on the right side of that line. So should the Jaguars be interested in trading up? I do think, when just evaluating the prospects, my 1 through 5 is Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, and I believe at 5 I've got Tyler Warren, right? That's how I view it. Those are my rankings. So if you have the opportunity to get a blue chip prospect at a premium position, I think you should take it. I do have Abdul Carter, Ashton Jeanty, and Travis Hunter above the rest of the class. So I think just in a vacuum, if you could land one of those three, probably a good idea. I think Mason Graham's right there too. But the general rule is don't trade up in this range unless it's a quarterback, because the cost is going to be too high, and it's just very difficult for a single prospect to warrant the opportunity cost that comes with trading up. Now, no one actually knows what it would cost this year to trade up with the Browns. Like, what is that magic number, or what is that magic amount of picks that the Browns would trade out of 2 and then give you the opportunity to get Travis Hunter on your football team, who one of my favorite prospects I can remember, honestly, whether it's at corner or wide receiver. What would it take? And you know, who knows? Maybe the Jags like Abdul Carter just as much. What would it take for the Giants to move down from 3 to 5? And the thing here is, it's not a big fall down the board for either of these teams. Going from 2 to 5, 3 to 5, that's not like a huge drop off, but some folks think it is a huge drop off just based on the prospects who will be available, right? I personally don't see it that way, but you know, what would it cost to move up with the Browns? I think the Browns are going to drive a hard bargain because they're in a position to land a blue chip prospect who they probably absolutely love in Travis Hunter. I don't know why you wouldn't love Travis Hunter. So to get to 2 with the Browns, my best guess, based on history, based on the fact that I think the Browns they're in the position of much more leverage with the Jaguars or any team trying to trade up to 2. I think for the Jags, it would probably be a future first and the 5th overall pick, or like 36 and 70. Something like that. I think the Browns are going to drive a hard bargain. So you'd be talking about using either 2 first-round picks or a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round pick, in my opinion, to probably get to 2 and take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Probably Travis Hunter. Is Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter worth 2 first-round picks or a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round pick? For me, the answer is no. I couldn't do that. Personally, I really couldn't. So we got the focus going out here. That would be a tough pill for me to swallow, giving up 3 picks for one player who you've never seen step foot on an NFL field. And the thing about it, I think Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter are both going to be great players. I also think Ashton Jeanty and Mason Graham are both going to be great players, and a couple of the other guys we mentioned. The bottom line is that, you know, giving up 3 picks for one prospect is incredibly risky. And, you know, it could be, they might not succeed in the NFL by no fault of their own. There's just so many different things that can happen. So to me, I would not be interested in giving up what I'm talking about here. And if the Browns are willing to give up that pick for less, I mean, sure. Right? If they're willing to kind of accept a lesser offer for that pick, I mean, yeah, you can talk about it. To get to 3, I think that's a much easier potential spot to get to with the Giants, because it's only jumping up 2 spots. I think you're probably talking about like pick 36. So if you're talking about a 1st and a 2nd, you know, only 2 picks for a Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, now we're starting to get into a potential situation I could get on board with. Either way, I mean, if they trade up, that's going to be exciting. I'm going to be here for it, just because like the implications, the storylines, all of that's going to be wild if they end up trading up, right? So it's going to be just fun to be a part of. But from a strategic standpoint, I don't think it's a great move. Now, if the player hits and they're the superstar you expect them to be, no one really cares, right? It's just the risk that comes with drafting a player, investing 3 draft picks potentially into one player is just, that's a lot. And that rarely works out again unless it's a quarterback. And now you've seen like the Texans, they traded up for Will Anderson. I thought that was a good move at the time. I love Will Anderson's game. So again, like if the Jaguars just fall in love with Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, I could see it. Now the Abdul Carter one is interesting just because he would be projected to be like your third pass rusher, at least early on. So that one's a little interesting. And again, he's my 3rd ranked prospect. I have Genty at 2, Hunter at 1. When it comes to, positional value, when I'm making decisions at the top of the draft, that does matter, right? Obviously, edge and wide receiver and cornerback are much higher positions of value on the pecking order than running back. So it's interesting. Also, we've talked about trading down, but yes, just in case you haven't seen that, I'm here for that for sure, because now you're talking about having more throws at the dartboard, less risk involved in each pick, more opportunity. So there's some guys I'd definitely be excited about in a trade down situation. There's some folks have been mock drafting Mason Graham to fall all the way to like 12, 13, whatever. If you could trade down and still land Mason Graham, that would be insane. If you could trade down and land Will Campbell, Will Johnson, Tedero McMillan, who I have no idea how they feel about him. Buzz that I've heard is kind of that they don't really love Tedero McMillan, but I think him complimenting Brian Thomas Jr., being a ball winner for Trevor Lawrence would be nice. Malachi Starks I love, and the Jaguars have a huge need at safety. Derek Harmon I think would be a good, if you can't get Mason Graham, I think Derek Harmon is a really good consolation prize. There's a lot of guys I'd be in on in a trade down. So yeah, trading is interesting. It would be fascinating to follow if the Jaguars actually do move up to 2 or 3. Like from a storyline perspective, I'm here for it. It'd be fun to watch. You'd be getting one of these most polarizing prospects in the draft in terms of just like the media intrigue, the fan intrigue, all that stuff. But just from a strategic standpoint, I don't necessarily think it's probably the best move. Honestly, that's how I view it. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. We will have more draft coverage for you throughout the day. And obviously, Club Jaguar tonight. Myself, UCF Jaguar, Jaguars United, live at Bottlenose Brewing. Come hang out with us. Come chat with us. We're going to have that 4th mic open for the fans. Really appreciate y'all. Have a good one.